Have you ever caught yourself blaming traffic for your lateness, your boss for your stress, the economy for your financial situation, or even the rain for your bad mood? If so, you are doing exactly what 99% of people do. And that is why 99% of people live anxious, frustrated, and with the feeling that life is out of control. Imagine for a moment a man who had absolute power over the greatest empire in history. He could have blamed anything or anyone for the problems he faced, but this man made a radical choice. He decided that everything, absolutely everything that happened in his life was his responsibility. And do you know what happened? He became one of the wisest and most serene leaders in humanity, even while governing in times of war, plague, and political chaos. That man was Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. And today, almost 2,000 years later, his discovery can completely revolutionize your life. Because there is a brutal difference between people who take total responsibility for their existence and those who live as victims of circumstances. By the end of this video, you will not only understand why taking 100% responsibility for your life is the most powerful mental hack that exists, but you will also have the practical tools that Marcus Aurelius used to turn any chaotic situation into an opportunity for growth and inner peace. Marcus Aurelius was not an ivory tower philosopher. He was literally the most powerful man in the known world, ruling an empire that stretched from England to Iraq. Imagine the stress, rebellions, plagues, constant wars, political conspiracies. Any normal person would be pointing fingers everywhere. But Marcus Aurelius did something revolutionary. In his personal diaries, which we know today as meditations, he wrote a phrase that would forever change the way we understand personal responsibility. You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Translating that into plain English, you don't control what happens to you, but you control 100% of how you react to what happens to you. And that reaction, not the events, is what determines the quality of your life. Think about your last Monday. You woke up late, traffic was terrible, your boss was irritated, it rained at lunchtime. The victim of circumstances version of this story would be, "What a horrible day. Everything is conspiring against me." The Marcus Aurelius version would be, "I am responsible for how I choose to interpret and react to each of these events. Each one of them is an opportunity to practice my mental discipline." Do you see the difference? In the first version, you are a leaf in the wind. In the second, you are the captain of the ship, even in the storm. Here is where it gets interesting. Marcus Aurelius developed a mental equation that may seem radical, but is mathematically perfect. Total responsibility equals total control over your inner peace. Let's break this down in practice. Imagine you are in an argument with your partner. The victim's math would be, she is making me angry. But Marcus Aurelius's math is, I'm choosing to be angry at her words. Does it seem like the same thing? It's not. In the first version, you need the other person to change for you to feel good. In the second, you have the power to feel good regardless of the other's behavior. Marcus Aurelius tested this in the most extreme situations. During the Antonine Plague, when thousands were dying daily in Rome, he didn't waste energy blaming the gods, fate, or circumstances. Instead, he asked, how can I lead wisely during this crisis? How can I use this to become stronger? This is not toxic optimism, it is radical realism. Because the only thing you can truly control is your response to life's events. Marcus Aurelius mentally created what we today call the circle of control. Imagine 3 concentric circles. Inner circle, total control. Your thoughts, your reactions, your choices, your values, your actions. Middle circle, influence. Close relationships, your career, with effort, your health, with care. Outer circle, no control. The weather, traffic, the actions of others, the global economy, the past, death. The genius of Marcus Aurelius was in focusing 1/100 of his energy on the inner circle. He didn't waste a second worrying about things in the outer circle. Practical application. You are stressed with your job. Instead of complaining about your boss, outer circle, Marcus Aurelius would ask, How can I improve my performance? How can I better communicate my ideas? How can I prepare myself for new opportunities? Inner circle. The result? Paradoxically, when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable and focus only on what you can control, you end up influencing the world around you far more. Marcus Aurelius developed a revolutionary philosophy about obstacles. For him, the problem was not the problem. The problem was seeing the problem as a problem. He coined a phrase that became a legend. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let's translate this to real situations. Lost your job? Instead of, "Why did this happen to me?" Marcus Aurelius would ask, "How can I use this time to develop new skills or find something better?" Broke up a relationship? Instead of, "I'll never find anyone," the question would be, "What can I learn about myself and about relationships?" Financial problems? Instead of, "Life is unfair," it would be, "How can I use this situation to develop financial discipline and creativity?" Marcus Aurelius was not being insensitive. He was being strategic. He understood that the energy we spend lamenting problems is energy we are not using to solve them. Marcus Aurelius turned his mind into a laboratory for daily experiments. Every difficult situation was an opportunity to practice his principles. Exercise 1. The mental replay. Every night, Marcus Aurelius would review the day and ask himself, "At what moments did I react as a victim? At what moments did I take total responsibility?" You can do this now. Think of a recent situation that irritated you. Instead of reliving the irritation, ask, "How can I take 100% responsibility for my reaction here? What can I learn?" Exercise 2. The automatic reframing. Whenever your mind starts with "so-and-so made me feel," or "if it weren't for," stop and reframe, "I chose to feel," or "I can use this situation too." Exercise 3. The golden question. In the face of any problem, ask, "If I were 100% responsible for solving this, what would be my next step?" Here's what Marcus Aurelius discovered and what completely changed his existence. When you stop blaming people and circumstances, you free yourself from a mental prison you didn't even know existed. Think of the mental energy you spend every day. Blaming politicians for the country's problems, complaining about the weather, getting irritated by traffic, criticizing coworkers, lamenting the past, fearing the future. Marcus Aurelius realized that all this energy was being wasted. Instead of being a commentator on life, he became the absolute protagonist of his story. The practical result? He governed the largest empire in the world with serenity, even when facing wars, plagues, and betrayals. Not because he was stronger than others, but because he took total responsibility for his response to every challenge. In your life, this translates into less anxiety because you stop worrying about the uncontrollable, more focus because your energy goes towards solutions, better relationships because you stop being a person who complains all the time, and a deep sense of control over your destiny. We live in an era where blaming others has become almost a religion. Marcus Aurelius would be considered radical today because he proposed the exact opposite, taking total responsibility even for things that objectively are not our fault. Why? Because blaming might be fair, but it's not useful. Marcus Aurelius was not interested in being right. He was interested in being at peace and being effective. Practical example, you grew up in a dysfunctional family. The victim approach would be, "My parents ruined my life, that's why I have problems." The Marcus Aurelius approach would be, "I had difficult parents, and now I am 100% responsible for healing those wounds and creating the life I want." Both can be true, but only one gives you the power to change your situation. Marcus Aurelius had a routine. He would wake up before dawn, meditate on the day's challenges, and mentally prepare to take total responsibility for his reactions. You can adapt this. Morning. Before you pick up your phone, ask, "How can I take total responsibility for what happens today?" During the day. Whenever something irritates you, pause and ask, "How can I respond to this in a way that makes me stronger?" Night. Review the day. Where was I a victim today? Where did I take responsibility? How can I do better tomorrow? The idea is not to become perfect, but to create the mental habit of always looking for your part of the responsibility in any situation. We have reached the end of this journey through the mind of one of history's most powerful and wise men. And what did we discover? That Marcus Aurelius' secret was not having superpowers or a perfect life. It was simply this: he decided that everything, absolutely everything that happened in his life was an opportunity to practice total responsibility. Look at your life now. How many times today did you blame something or someone for how you felt? How many times did you say, if it weren't for Momo, or so-and-so made me? Each of those times was a lost opportunity to take your personal power. Marcus Aurelius understood something that few comprehend. True freedom doesn't come from having control over the external world, but from taking total responsibility for your internal world. When you do that, something magical happens. You stop being a slave to circumstances and become the architect of your own serenity. Anxiety about the future decreases because you know that no matter what happens, you have the tools to deal with it. Anger at life's injustices turns into energy to build solutions. The feeling of powerlessness gives way to an unwavering confidence that, no matter the challenge, you can grow through it. This is not just ancient philosophy. It is the antidote to the victim mentality that is destroying the mental health of an entire generation. It is the difference between people who navigate life with purpose and serenity and those who live in constant reaction to the winds of fortune. The question remains: will you continue to be a commentator on your own life, or are you ready to become the absolute protagonist of your story?